What is up, RotoGrinders? Welcome to another edition of NBA Crunch Time, sponsored by Fanduel. I'm your host, TJ Zwarch, joined by half of the same weekend team that we had going yesterday. Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. How you doing this Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I think I'm going to win at least some money, maybe like 2 or 3x today, even with Aaron Jones on my main team. That really stung, but I still think I'm going to have a profit. So that's always good on NFL Sundays.
I got a fun sweat going on right now. I'm about 10x right now. My cash team put up 196.5, but it all is a lot of it right now is hanging in the balance of a big $10 winner take all tournament that I'm first in right now. And so if I'm sweating out, I think I'm 26 points above the guy who's got the best chance behind me. He's got Christian McCaffrey, Dalton Kincaid, and the 49ers defense. So if I can hold him off, it's going to be a good 5-figure day. Nice piling up on the UFC win from the other night. And so hopefully we can keep that going. And I'm going to be cheering hard against the 49ers in the second half here. But people are here to talk about the NBA. We're going to be back for some more NFL content later. Chief and I will be back at right before 45 minutes before the Sunday Night Football game for a pre-lock show. But now it is time to talk about the NBA. So before we dive into it here, the NBA, of course, is sponsored by Fanduel. As I try and find the ad read here, where do we got here? It's from Steve. That's where I got the message from. I can't be looking from Devin. Crunch Time sponsored by Fanduel. Bet $5 on any money line, get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. For new users in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I see we got some people in chats asking about, and you already addressed it there, Tim, that DraftKings does lock later, but because this show is, of course, sponsored by FanDuel, we are going to cover the FanDuel lock here first. So that includes the Denver and Cleveland game, and it changes this from a 5-game slate to a 6-game slate. And with Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert out, there's a lot of value opened up in that game.
Yeah, definitely locking. I'm definitely locking in a couple of Cavaliers into my FanDuel team, just because they're going to have to play a ton of minutes. We talked about the spread; it's very small, so they, guys like Mobley, Garland, Strus, they should be playing like 35, 36 minutes. And this spot isn't horrible, and so I'm definitely locking in at least 2 Cleveland players into my single entry team.
Yeah, I think that makes sense with the amount of value they have opened up there. Let's kind of dive into a slate overview, obviously, because there's no games discluded on DraftKings, so we can kind of talk about it on FanDuel as a whole. And then if we have time before lock, we'll pivot to a little bit of a DraftKings build here as well. But why don't you start with just a general overview of the slate?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously the big piece of news is that Luka was midday questionable. So, I mean, that would be obviously slate changing if you were to be ruled out. That always makes me a little bit nervous. Like middle of the day, you go to questionable. I would definitely be prepared and leave spots open to make sure that you have spots to get to at least Kyrie, right? He would be a must play if Luka were to sit. So that is a extremely, extremely important piece of info. In terms of other injuries, I don't think there's anything really else that's like huge. I feel like LeBron is always questionable. So
yeah, I'm expecting him to play. Luka, I have no idea. I think he's probably
Luka.
50-50,
See, Luka's I feel like is probably like a true questionable thing. So definitely make sure that you leave a spot open for Kyrie.
Well, like we were talking a little bit beforehand of like Steve and I thought maybe the line in the first game, that Denver Cleveland game, felt a little bit off at minus 3.5 for Denver with those guys out, and I'm happy that I did get it at minus 3.5 because it's now minus 4.5, and so that was a nice one to get in quick, if for nothing but the value. But if you look at that Dallas and Kings game right now, Dallas is at home and the Kings are favored by 2.5 points. Well, Dallas is 4, and Sacramento, they've been playing well too. They're 7-4, but Dallas is at home. If Luka was, they were thinking he was going to play, I feel like that spread wouldn't be how it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It is the second half of a back-to-back. This is the best game of the night is the Kings Dallas game in terms of pace and overall total. So this is definitely a game that I want to get exposure to. Luka's pretty hard to get to. But if he were to miss, then Kyrie is you absolutely have to play him in all formats.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Poker Eric in chat is doing some good, some funny comments in there. He's saying nope, Sacramento is just the better team, and then drops the Go Kings, and he's got the Sacramento Kings profile picture in there as well. So I was messing with him, and he's had some good fun there back. But let's start going position by position here. Starting off on with Fanduel, of course. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching us on YouTube. I'm going to be going to the RotoGrinders Discord live stream chat for questions first. But if you want me to start going in the YouTube chat as well, let's smack that like button. I want at least 40 likes before I'm taking any QQs from the YouTube chat. So smash that like button. Let's get it going. Starting position by position here on Fanduel. Let's look at the point guard position, Tim. Taylor was on core plays today. He's got 3 guys tagged, but nobody at the point guard position. They're kind of all forwards today. So most of the work we're going to need help with is at guard. Who are you going here at point guard? I feel like 1 is Darius Garland maybe now, and 2 is dependent on Luka Doncic.
Yeah, so Darius Garland is definitely now a core play. 100%. He should be a core play. You can fire him up. I would be overweight him in tournaments too. And then the second point guard is where it gets a little bit tricky. Kyrie is rating out as a really strong play, even with Luka in projections. So you could just put Kyrie in right now and just say, I don't even care about the Luka news. I think SGA is a very, very strong play, even at 11,000. Okay. Kevin Huerter is ruled out, so that's one piece of news, but not huge.
Maybe enough to get us a little bit of Malik Monk in there, though.
Yep. I really like Drew Holiday in the mid range. I think he rates out as a very, very strong play. Darian Fox, I already talked about how much I really like that game, but I think in cash, I think maybe you should just lock in Garland and then just lock in Irving, and then that way you don't even have to worry about the Luka news.
The one thing I would say is if never mind, I totally misread the price there. I was looking at Irving twice, and I thought Fox was the same price tag. But yeah, I agree with you there 100%. I think that works as a cash play. The only other one I'd probably consider in cash is Drew Holiday. Since I'm doing the hosting and kind of we're tag team in the tournaments here, I'm just going to go through my favorite tournament plays here as well with the position, as opposed to doing it all afterwards. We might as well just kind of go in tandem. I love Malik Monk now, probably more likely to play him at the shooting guard position, but now that we got Huerter confirmed out, I'm going to be heavily overweight on Malik Monk. And then the other guy I would look at in tournaments that I like quite a bit is Fred VanVleet in this spot. He helped me min cash after I fell asleep the other night. And I want to go back to the well here. He doesn't have a great projection, but we've seen VanVleet put up some pretty high ceiling games here this season. And so I don't mind him in tournaments as well.
Yeah, Kevin Huerter was projected for 28 minutes. So those minutes have to go somewhere now. And Malik Monk would be a very strong candidate for those minutes, or at least some of those minutes. So Malik Monk was projected for 26. I'd imagine he gets up to over 30 now. maybe the low 30s. So yeah, that he would be a very, very strong play in the best game environment of the night. Moving over to shooting guard real quick. So this is where I'm a little bit hung up because I want to play 3 Cleveland players, but I'm probably only going to play 2. I really like Max Strus at 6K, but I don't want to lock up 3 positions. So I'm probably going to leave him out of my cash games and just lock in Mobley and Garland. But you definitely could, if you wanted to, play Max Strus. He's definitely cash game viable over tournaments. Shaden Sharp, 6,700. He's projected for 37 minutes. Not exactly. I don't really like Portland that much, but he's cheap enough, and he plays so many minutes that I think he's viable in all formats. Grayson Allen would be a very, very solid punt play. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I'd like him even more if Luka were to sit. I think he would be a big benefactor of that. Eric Gordon is another kind of low mid-range play.
Yeah, I honestly think that you want to just fill out shooting guard last in your cash game today. The second spot. I think you use Monk for one of them, but then we only have 3 positions left here if we plug in Garland, Irving, Monk, and then those 3 core plays from Taylor. And so I kind of like the idea of filling out that last shooting guard spot last. And it's like, I got 5,300. K, it's Hardaway. I got 5K. It's Gordon. I got 6K. It's Strus. I got 6,700. It's Sharp. That kind of thing. Jalen Green, I think, is even fine. There's a lot of good, but not many great plays here outside of Hardaway. Unless Luka is out, I think that consists of a great play. And so I think you just save that for last. For tournaments, I absolutely love Devin Booker today. He's going to be tough to get up to, but if Luka's out, there's that eliminates one spend up that you could go to for tournaments. I love Devin Booker. If we see these 2 games, he's been so far 25 and 31 minutes, 50 and 41 fantasy points. He's been doing everything for this team, playmaking, rebounding, still shooting the ball a ton. On a small slate at 3% owned, both on Fanduel and DraftKings, we're projecting him for sub 3% ownership. I think he's a phenomenal tournament play today.
It's a very strong call. See, I'm so high on Durant on this slate, so I'm kind of like I can't be high on both of them, right? I know that Durant will be the chalkier of the 2 by quite a bit, but yeah, I'm very high on Durant. But yeah, I like that call.
And then I'd maybe throw in Skylar Mays, Jordan Clarkson, 2 guys for tournaments coming in at sub 10% ownership that I like quite a bit here as well. Small forward position, Jeremy Grant is a core play. You can play him at power forward or small forward. The aforementioned Strus and Shaden Sharp you can get to here as well, same as Tim Hardaway Jr. But we also got that Durant up top. So who are you going to here at small forward?
Yeah, definitely Jeremy Grant is definitely going to be in my cash game team. Same thing with Max Strus. He's definitely cash game viable. Just depends on how many Cavs that you want. I really love Lauri Markkanen tonight. So I don't know. It's tough. I'm kind of stuck. If I can pay up for Durant, then I'm going to do that. If I can't, then I'm going to go down to Lauri. Those are kind of like my 2 favorite small forward plays. And then if you need a punt, again, Grayson Allen, I think, is viable.
We are 24 minutes away from the Fanduel lock. Get all your QQs in, especially for Fanduel. How I'm planning on going through things is looking at the RotoGrinders Discord chat, live stream chat first, followed by the YouTube chat, which I still need to get us up over 40 likes before I even look at the YouTube chat for some QQs today. We're at 35 right now. Get us up over 40, then we're good to go there. But I'm going to answer all the Fanduel questions after we go through these builds here. And then after we get through all those questions, as long as there's still time, we will do a DraftKings build here since there's not as much of a hurry with that slate locking later. It doesn't matter if the Fanduel slate locks or not for us to talk about that one. So we'll get through all the QQs first for Fanduel, pivot to DraftKings, and then we'll get out of here in time for some more NFL content later this evening. Power forward, Tim, who do you like at that position? We got Kelly Olynyk tagged here. You can also play Grant at the power forward position, but I got a feeling you want to plug in Evan Mobley in this spot.
I do, yeah. I definitely want to play Evan Mobley. If you're not playing Jeremy Grant small forward, you should plug him in at power forward. But yeah, Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, Kelly Olynyk. He kind of sketches me out for cash games. Like, I understand why he's rated so well, points per dollar, but 24 minutes, 5K, it's fine. It's fine. If you need the salary, I'm fine with it. I would prefer getting to John Collins, but if you need the salary, Kelly Olynyk's fine. But Mobley's my favorite, followed by Kevin Durant, then Lauri Markkanen.
Was that you today for tournaments who wrote up Domantas Sabonis in the expert survey, or was that somebody else? Because I remember there was someone in the expert survey like them.
That was me, and I'm like I'm so conflicted by that because he's a little bit higher owned than he was earlier in the day, but not by a lot. This is by far my favorite game for large field GPPs. This is like the game stack all the way. So like if we got Luka to sit, we could easily play Kyrie and Sabonis. Like that would be amazing. I really like Sabonis today for large field GPPs.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. What about Chet Holmgren at the center position? He's the top RG value on the slate on FanDuel. He's pushing 50% owned. You got to play Chet Holmgren in center and cash, right?
Yeah, definitely in cash games. I think he's going to be 50% owned in tournaments. That sketches me out a little bit, but in cash games, 100%, he is definitely your center.
Oh, yeah, right. There's a guy with James Cook in that winner takes all tournaments. I didn't even think that would be a threat, but James Cook just scored a touchdown. So I probably got to worry about that team coming for me now, too.
Oh, no.
But it's all right. We're still in first right now. Let's see. We got time, so I'm going to check it. How we're going to fill everybody in on the sweat. There's somebody who is 11 points behind me with James Cook and the 49ers defense. So that's starting to get a little bit scary now.
Yeah.
For tournaments, I don't think there's a possible better play on nearly any slate than Nikola Jokic. We want to play a bunch of Cleveland players anyways. He's 13K, so he's incredibly difficult to get to. But I mean, it's a small slate, and he could put up 90 fantasy points. And if he does, you're going to need him. Like, he's priced at a point that it's like, yeah, you basically need 70 from Nikola Jokic if you're going to be playing him on this slate. But look at his last few games. 71, 64, 77, 67, 74, 69. He's been doing it consistently every single night. So at sub 5% ownership, I think Nikola Jokic is a phenomenal play. All you got to do is get lucky with a few of your cheapies, just 4 or 5xing on a small slate like this one. And so I think Luka is a great tournament play today. I'd also want to throw in Alperen Şengün there. He's coming in at sub 10% ownership. I love that for tournaments. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is fine. I don't love him, but I do love how low owned he is. So I think he's totally fine for tournaments. And then kind of back to the power forward position. I wouldn't waste my center spot on him, but at power forward, I think Drew Eubanks makes for a very interesting salary saver today. If you want to assume that Phoenix blows out Utah, which it's only a 5-point spread, but he's good for 20 minutes if this is a close game, and he probably gets 26, 27, 28 if it turns to a blowout. So he could get you 4 or 5x as he is. And then if that happens to turn into a blowout, that could be 7, 8, 9x when you would tournament territory. So I think he's very interested in a salary saver as well. All right. Let's go to some QQs here, going to the RotoGrinders Discord live stream chat first. Seems like everybody is still focused on football, so not a lot going on there, but we do have enough likes on YouTube to check there. Definitely get us up over 50 likes. That'd be nice. Ian Singh wants to know any picks for Yahoo. I don't think we have specific ones for Yahoo. I don't think either of us are playing there today. But if you have questions for Yahoo, let us know. and we can absolutely answer your 2v2s, your 1v1s, etc. kind of thing as well. Will you guys cover the core plays on DraftKings? Yes, absolutely we will. Just want to get through the questions for FanDuel first since it locks earlier. Do we finally have to fade Jokic at $13,000 now? I think you can. You don't have to feel too worried about it. But if he was 30% owned, I'd say, yeah, maybe that's a great fade today because he's starting to get so expensive and it's a small slate. We don't have a lot of value. But he's coming in at 3% ownership today. So I think he just makes for a really, really great tournament play. Flying Armbar wants to know, Tim, what do you think about Jordan Clarkson on FanDuel?
Yeah, I think he's 7K. I think it's a little bit too expensive for my liking. Yeah, sure, I guess he can be part of like a GPP portfolio, but if you're only playing like 3 teams, I would not play him.
Yeah, I think that makes sense there.
We gave Monk four more minutes, so gave him 30 minutes now, and now he's popping really hard in projections.
Who is that? Sorry,
Monk,
yeah, that makes sense. I think he's a cash game play and a great tournament play as well.
Definitely a cash game play. You put him right in your shooting guard spot.
All right. Is Reggie Jackson a good FanDuel GPP play? Abraham wants to know.
He's not on my radar. I don't really like going into that defense, so I'm gonna pass even for 4,800.
Yeah, I think that makes sense there. How do you feel about the other Denver pieces? There's so many conversations going on in chat. I keep getting distracted. How about the other Denver Nuggets pieces like Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. today?
Aaron Gordon would be my favorite, but I really don't want to play any of them unless I'm going to just try and play the 13K Jokic, which I don't really want to do. Center position is so loaded today on FanDuel that I don't even want to speculate with Jokic at 13K.
76-yard touchdown for Brandon Ayuk. So things are starting to pop in that game over there. Sheesh. Yep. On DraftKings, or we'll do this FanDuel question first. Any interest in Kenrich Williams on FanDuel? I didn't check what his FanDuel price tag was, but I know I didn't mind him as a salary saver on DK, and he's cheaper on FanDuel. Yeah, I think that's a totally viable salary saver.
Totally viable. He's 3,800. We have him projected for 22 minutes. Like if you're in that price range, I say go for it. I think that's completely fine.
He's had a minutes increase in each game so far since coming back from injury. That could help you get Nikola Jokic in tournaments. I don't mind that one bit. Let's see here. On DraftKings, last spot for a forward. Would you rather play Cam Reddish or Grant Williams?
On DraftKings?
Yeah.
What power forward you said?
Yeah, just one, like a 1v1, Reddish or Grant Will. Who do you like better from a raw point standpoint?
I think it's gotta be Reddish, right?
I was actually thinking Grant Williams would be the guy I like better. He's projected for around 18 fantasy points, and Reddish is 0.04 less than Grant Williams.
I mean, the real answer is neither.
Yeah, the real answer is neither. Like Reddish would be a great play if LeBron was out. But assuming he's going to play, I would go Grant Williams, but I don't think I'd really want to get to either of them. Let's see, is there any options there that I would maybe like a little better? I'd rather go Taylor Horton Tucker if it's at the forward position.
Yeah.
I just
we do have one more FanDuel question.
What do you think about Craig Porter on FanDuel?
Craig Porter.
Projected to get 20 minutes without Donovan Mitchell and Karis LeVert. He got 15 minutes last game and put up 26 fantasy points.
Yeah, I'm not that interested.
GPPs, I love it. I think you give it a shot. Maybe you do it with Jokic. It's 3,900 on a small slate. If he does get you 20 minutes, he probably does pretty great. He was very active in that last one against Detroit. So I don't hate that one. I think you can totally take shots on GPPs, but probably not anything like a cash gameplay. I'll check back to the Discord quick. Here we go. Fanduel cash from NBA DFS: Isaiah Joe and Shaden Sharp, or Struce and Eric Gordon. I think that's got to be Struce and Gordon.
Yeah, it's Struce and Gordon.
Any Santi Aldama love for FanDuel? I do like him in tournaments. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I like him for tournaments.
Especially because he probably still gets some run if that one gets a little bit ugly. If Luka's out, who else becomes necessary in cash for the Mavs on FanDuel? I think it's Kyrie and Tim Hardaway Jr. Those are the two players you need in cash, and they would be probably the only two players you need in cash from Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. It would definitely be Kyrie and Hardaway.
We are DFS Crusher wants to know why we're talking about Jokic. He's not on the main slate. He is on FanDuel. That's why we're here right now, because that slate locks in 12 minutes now. So it's very, very important. Then that Cleveland game is kind of the main feature of our slate over there. Anything else on Discord? No, that's it. So I think we can pivot to our DraftKings build here. Not a whole lot different from the last 5 games, but it's important to note that there is no Nikola Jokic or any of those Cleveland values over there, because that game isn't on the slate. It doesn't lock for another about hour and 45 minutes from now, 7:30 Eastern time. Let's go quick. I want to kind of rifle this one pretty quick through the position by position. Apologies. Some of my adjusted projections are in here, and some of the guys are outside of the player pool because this is where I'm running 20 lineups, but should still have most of the most important players. Starting at the point guard position, who are you looking to go with here in cash? We got Malik Monk tagged now. I think he's pretty necessary, along with Holmgren and Jeremy Grant from Taylor's core plays. So who do you like at point guard? Would you rather play Malik Monk here or at shooting guard? Luckily, we'll for sure have the Kyrie news for this one. So that's why it's kind of tough to break down. It's like, we don't know if Luke is in or out yet. You play Kyrie if he's out. You don't if he's in. But we will for sure know that before slate locks.
Kyrie still rates out really well, even with Luka and projections. So, I mean, I think you could play Kyrie in cash even with Luka in. So you could just put in Monk and put in Kyrie, point guard, shooting guard. They're both point guard, shooting guard. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to play Kyrie, I think SGA is in a smash spot at 10-3. He is definitely cash game viable. He's going to go. He's projected for over 50 fantasy points. So, I mean, I think he's a great play. So is De'Aaron Fox. Point guard's really loaded. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Monk is definitely my shooting guard, but point guard is a little bit harder. It's either SGA or Fox for me.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. SGA and Fox are both great. If Luke is out, you got to prioritize Kyrie Irving.
Right.
And then in tournaments, I really like Fred VanVleet as well. He's priced down on DraftKings. So I like him quite a bit there at the point guard position. And then at shooting guard, you lock in Malik Monk or Kyrie Irving if you happen to be playing Monk at point guard. And then if for some reason you like your lineup better with a double spend up, you're going SGA and Kyrie there. All the power to you. There's nothing wrong with that, really, if you're getting them at the guard position, something like that. For tournaments, you can see two of the guys I like here quite a bit. I bumped up their projection manually, Devin Booker and Skylar Mays. Love them for tournaments today. Obviously, I will get more Kyrie Irving, though, if Luka Doncic is out. Don't hate the Eric Gordons and Isaiah Joes and Colin Sexton for some salary savings today. I'm even getting a little Peyton Pritchard just in case the Celtics blow out Memphis today. But for the most part, it's Monk is my favorite. Kyrie will be too if Luke is out. And then Devin Booker and Skylar Mays, my two favorite tournament options here. Small forward, who are you looking to go with in cash games today, Tim?
I just wanted to address one quick question in chat. Besides Monk, who else gets more run with Herter out? The big benefactor would be Chris Duarte, who's going to projected for 24 minutes. Luka is in, by the way. Luka
Doncic is in. There you go. Available to play.
Yeah. So there goes that. But yeah, Kyrie still rates out very strong with Luka in. So he's still not a bad play.
Yeah, I agree. Think he's not bad, but just with how loaded guard is today, I do think we can get a little better.
Right. I agree. Small forward. Lauri Markkanen's my favorite when considering price and ownership. 8,300. Shaden Sharp, 7,300. He's right up there. We talked about Chris Duarte. He's. I think we're going to project him to start and still have Monk come off the bench. He's only 3,200. So I mean, he's a decent punt. Same with the Isaiah Joe. I think he's a strong play as well. But this position seems kind of weak to me, other than like Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, I agree with you, which is why I don't hate the idea of going cheap to Isaiah Joe or Tyree Eason or Tumani Kamara today if I really need it. Even Taylor Horton Tucker, Kenrich Williams, because this is a pretty weak position. This is where I find myself the most often just going nice and cheap and punting the position. Power forward, we have Jeremy Grant, who you can play here. Are you looking to try and jam in Kevin Durant as well at the forward position?
Yeah, I would like to be able to get to Durant as my priority spend up today. He's my favorite like overall play. Yeah, John Collins I think rates out really well. And you know, obviously if Brown sits, that changes everything. But like Tatum is 10-1. I think that's too expensive. LeBron's 9-6. I think that's too expensive. So again, it's one of these mid-range guys like Keegan Murray, Grant, John Collins. So somewhere in there. And if you have the money, definitely Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I like that as well. Don't mind me some Santi Aldama, Tari Eason for tournaments. John Collins, I think, is fine there as well. Center position, we got Chet tagged here. I think Sabonis makes for a great tournament play. Kelly Olynyk is a reasonable salary-saving option too. Is there anybody else here you like at center?
DeAndre Ayton would be the only other guy, 6,600. But yeah, Chet's my favorite. Kelly Olynyk's not as strong on DK because he's only center eligible, where he has power forward on FanDuel.
1 second away from getting Dallas at plus 2.5. Now they're minus 2.5. I was so close.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be about it for me at center.
Yeah, I think that makes sense there. Sorry for tilting as we go live. I think that basically covers it for the show. We are 6 minutes away from FanDuel lock. I think, yeah, Luka is absolutely in play for tournaments at 11-9 on DraftKings. That is totally fine. No other questions in the YouTube chat. No other questions in the RotoGrinders Discord live stream chat. Tim, you got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
No. Thank you very much, DJ.
Thank you. Fun show as per usual. Catch me and Chief on for the pre-log show for the NFL single game showdown contest later. One more question before we get out of here, Tim. Keegan Murray or Max Strus? They did not specify.
Well, that's FanDuel.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But did not specify cash or tournament.
Okay. I'm going to go with Strus.
And then who would be your favorite of the small forward values? Again, they didn't specify on a site, but Poker Eric's been with us since like the FanDuel start, so I want to say probably it's FanDuel.
Okay. Gotta check real quick.
On DraftKings, for me, it's probably Tari Eason for what it's worth. So I'll take the DK if you want to check FanDuel.
If you want somebody cheap on FanDuel, probably Grayson Allen, Kenrich Williams. If you can get a little higher, go to Strus or Jeremy Grant. Did TJ freeze?
My mic just disappeared on me, but I switched it to AirPods. Can you hear me? But
yeah, you're back. You're back.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what happened, but it looks like my mic somehow just got unplugged here. So good thing we're at the end of the show.
thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back for some more pre-lock, and you have been crunched.